Hello, my name is Amber Young, and I'm an independent ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. This product is meant to be a training video for other ambassadors on how to start their customers on the Plexus Triplex, Slim, ProBio5, and BioCleanse. So one of the things that I want to start out by saying is we hear so many different methods on how to start people on the Triplex. And of course, we want to get people results as fast as possible. So that being said, I always feel like slow and steady wins this race. And the reason being is we never are going to know for sure how a certain person's body is going to respond to any product. And regardless of whether they respond in a positive or a negative manner, if we don't start them one at a time on each product, we won't know which product had that impact on them. So I do like to start everybody one product at a time, at least one per day at the fastest. Sometimes one every 3 days can be slower. It depends on your person and what they're dealing with. And I also like to start them differently depending on what their specific needs are, what they're struggling with the most. So it's really important that we ask those questions and that we listen to our customers and find out, what they're struggling with most day to day. So most people will start you with Slim, and a lot of times that's going to be the case, is Slim will be the first product that you start with. However, if you have somebody that's dealing with real major constipation and they need to go to the bathroom, start them on ProBio5 first. Get them going to the bathroom every day, get them feeling better, and then you can go ahead and start them on the other products. On the opposite side of that is if somebody is having chronic diarrhea, then start them on ProBio5 first and nothing else. That a lot of times alone can help slow things down and get them to have diarrhea less often. There are other products that you can also use to help with situations like that, but in terms of starting the triplex, that's where I would go, is start with BioCleanse if they are not going to the bathroom enough, start with ProBio5 if they're going way too much, and get them that quick win and feeling better, and then go ahead and do your other ones. So if we're going to start with Slim first, I do like to start people on a half a packet, sometimes even a quarter of a packet if I feel like they have pretty big imbalances in their blood sugar, or maybe some really big gut issues in the bathroom department. I can start them even slower. The reason for that is the XOS in Slim. It is a prebiotic fiber, and I think by now a lot of us realize that most of us do not get enough fiber in our diet. And that's one of the reasons why we really need a prebiotic fiber in our supplement. So if we're not getting that fiber every day in our diet, and then now all of a sudden we're getting it every day in Slim, it can kind of be a shock to our system. And for some people that can cause some gas, some bloating, maybe even a trip to the bathroom. The good news is that the body adjusts very, very quickly, especially if you stay consistent taking it every day. And when I say quickly, I'm talking 1 to 2 days. Now, starting on a quarter of a pack or a half a pack of Slim will really cut down on that too. So that's another reason why I like to start people slowly on that. So I start everyone at least at a half, and I'll tell them to do half a packet for 2 to 4 days, so we're not wasting any, right? If they do great after 2 days, then go ahead and bump them up to a full pack. If they're still kind of feeling a little bloated or gassy, then keep them there longer. So things to know. There is about a teaspoon of powder in a stick of Slim. So you can tell your person there's a teaspoon of powder in there, and to go ahead and measure a half a teaspoon for a half a stick, or a quarter of a teaspoon for a quarter of a stick. And for a half a teaspoon of Slim, I like to mix it in 6 to 8 ounces of water. So you still kind of, it still tastes the same. And on a full stick, we generally mix it in 12 to 20 ounces of water. And of course that they can change that any way they like. Some people like to do it in a shot real quick, and some people really like to mix it with a lot of water, ice, fresh lemon juice, fresh lime juice, whatever they need to make it taste yummy for them. So that's how I handle Slim. So if we were starting on day 1 and we were starting somebody on Slim, I would start them with a half a packet on day 1 and a half a packet on day 2. Now, if they don't have any bathroom issues, then I'll go ahead and start them on 1 BioCleanse the night of day 2. So I like to start people at night for BioCleanse because a lot of people are just afraid of BioCleanse. They hear the word cleanse and they think that they're going to be stuck in the bathroom. Now, we know that that's not the case, but they need to feel comfortable with it. So a lot of times they don't want to take it in the morning and then head off to work or out for the day. So they feel a lot more comfortable taking it at bedtime, and maybe they get up in the morning and they get to go to the bathroom. So half a Slim on day 1, half a Slim on day 2, and 1 BioCleanse that night. Day 3, I'll typically have them take another BioCleanse in the morning with their Slim. So now they're on a full stick of Slim possibly and 2 BioCleanse per day. And I am checking in with them and seeing how they are doing. Have they gone to the bathroom? What was the consistency? Was it different than normal for them? And then, how are they handling Slim? Are they ready to go to a full stick? Do they love it? Are they feeling good? Then we can go ahead and make those changes. So things to know. Always find somebody's dose of BioCleanse before you start ProBio5. So we want typically to be on Slim and BioCleanse and be comfortable on both of those before starting ProBio5. And a lot of times that will take about 1 week, about 7 to 8 days to really find that happy place with the 2 of those, to be on a full stick of Slim, know what your BioCleanse dose is, and be there for a couple of days so we kind of have some consistency and some normalcy with bathroom habits for 2 to 3 days before we start ProBio5. And a big reason for that is, yes, we want to know how we're responding to each product. Yes, we want to know what our dose is for each product, but you're also prepping the body for ProBio5. They're already beginning to detox with Slim and BioCleanse and get things moving and flowing out of their body before we start killing the bad stuff in their gut. So it's really good to go kind of in that sequence, again, if they don't have bathroom issues to start with. So I do recommend that most people start drinking their Slim in the morning. I do like them to have it first thing in the morning before they eat or drink anything else besides water. I think that it's the best way to start, but that's not the only way to start, and it's not always best for everybody. Some people do prefer to have their Slim later in the day, before lunch, or maybe even a little bit after that, depending on where their energy falls and where their craving falls. So I try to start everybody in the morning, and then after a couple of weeks, we can reassess and adjust. If they're feeling good there, great. If not, let's make some changes. But I do want them to eat a meal that is pretty high in protein about 30 minutes after they have their Slim. So whether that's breakfast or lunch or, a protein snack. And please don't set the timer. You don't have to drink your Slim and then measure out 30 minutes. We just want everything in the belly unsettled, and then we want them to eat. Protein is really important because it's going to help keep your blood sugar stable. It's going to help keep your energy up, and it's going to jumpstart your metabolism. If they're eating something that's really high in sugar, then it's going to spike their blood sugar for the day. It's going to set them up for a crash and not feeling so great. And it kind of triggers your metabolism to store fat instead of burn it. So we want to think high protein and low sugar. And there are so many different options. Pinterest is great for recipe ideas. People kind of get a little stuck. Well, what am I supposed to eat, especially at breakfast time? And I always like to remind people it doesn't have to be breakfast food. But there are many options. So keep that in mind. Slim and a meal with protein, and it's going to really help them feel good and set up for the day and keep their blood glucose levels nice and stable, which is what we want. So We've talked about starting slim. We've talked about finding our BioCleanse dose, and again, making sure that they're stable for a couple of days and consistent with their bathroom habits. Our goal is really to get people to go comfortably 2 to 3 times a day, once a day at a very minimum. So we want it to go easy, but we don't want to be urgent, right? We just want to be able to sit down and go and be comfortable, and we want to feel clean on the inside, kind of like you deserve a reward afterwards, right? Like you just feel really good after you've gone to the bathroom. So that's where we want our people to be. Then when we start ProBio5, I do that at bedtime. Now, I like to keep my BioCleanse on my kitchen counter, and I will take it in the morning with my Slim, and I'll take it before I head up for bed at night. And then I get ready for bed, I do all of those things, and I keep my ProBio5 on my nightstand. And right before I turn out my light for the night, I will take my ProBio5 and go to sleep. So that's just what works for me. Everybody is going to have, you know, their different methods, their different reminders. Some people like to sit it next to their toothbrush, whatever it might be. But by doing that, I separated my BioCleanse and my ProBio5 by a little bit. Okay, so I got my BioCleanse in before I went up to bed, and about a half an hour or maybe an hour or two later, I ended up taking my ProBio5. But ProBio5 should be taken at bedtime so that it can sit in the gut undisturbed all night long to do its job of killing off that bad bacteria without food and other digestive things going on at the same time that can kind of disrupt it and interfere. That's one of the key things why we want to take that at bedtime. So it's been about a week. We did our Slim, we did our BioCleanse, and now we're on one ProBio5. So where do we go from here? We know that the goal is to get somebody to what's considered a therapeutic dose of 4 ProBio5. Each time we increase ProBio5, we are killing more bad microbes in the gut, which we want, right? Because we want to rebalance that gut, and we want to get rid of the bad stuff and get the good stuff back in there. So die off. We talk about die off a lot. And our job is to help our people get through this as easily as possible and make it manageable. If it wasn't manageable, nobody would do it, right? So most people, not everybody, but most people will handle one ProBio5 fantastic. And I will keep them there for about a week. And if they're doing great, they don't have any die-off symptoms, then after a week, I will increase them to 2 ProBio5 at bedtime. So now we're 2 weeks into our triplex regimen. And we've got them on Slim, they're going on BioCleanse, and they're on 2 ProBio5. At this point, I'm going to check back in about a week. Possibly sooner, you know, depending on your relationship with them. But, you know, a week to 2 weeks on 2 ProBio5. And from here on out, it's, you know, nobody knows. Okay, it's all going to depend on how that person's body responds and how well they detox, right? On whether or not they can continue to increase their ProBio5. My rule of thumb that I like to use is that I want somebody to be feeling great and have no die-off symptoms for at least a full week before I make their next increase in ProBio5. This tells me that their body has had time to filter out those extra toxins those dead microbes have given off, and it's also had a chance to rest. You know, we give it a little bit of a break before we give it an even bigger load to handle, an even bigger job, more toxins, right? Because each time we increase, we're killing more, which means more toxins to filter out. So that's how I like to proceed with that. And it could take 1 month, 2 months, or several months to get somebody from 1 to 4. And don't worry if they start getting die-off symptoms. It's just a time to reassess, you know, what are their symptoms? How severe are they? Are they manageable? And what's our next step? So you may want to stay at that dose, and it's possible that you may want to back them down. You know, if they're really not feeling well and they're not handling it well, then it's okay to back down. We're still making progress. We just need to go slower with that person. In addition to that, I always like to start people with extra detoxing measures. And if you are in the Better Than Fine YouTube channel, you will see Chandra's detox video. I like to send that to people when they're beginning to, because it gives so many different options to help support your body in other detoxing ways, such as Epsom salt baths, dry brushing is wonderful, dandelion root tea, armpit packs, rebounding, whatever it might be, in addition to drinking your water every day, right? So if we start an extra detox measure every day before we start ProBio5, then we're staying ahead of it, right? We're staying ahead of that, and hopefully somebody doesn't experience die-off symptoms, or they stay really, really mild. So that's another great way to troubleshoot. Remember, for water, we really got to stay on top of people too, because it's so important. It can make or break flushing those toxins out and how well they feel on a day-to-day basis. Whether taking Plexus or not, we all should be drinking half to our full body weight in ounces of water a day. And that's not something I cooked up. It's not some crazy Plexus thing. It's actually a recommendation that's been out for years, and you can check it out on even WebMD or other websites. And that's the recommendation now, is half to your full body weight in ounces a day, depending on your age, the climate that you live in, and your level of activity. So half your body weight's kind of be your minimum. And then you work up from there. So for people that are already pretty tiny, let's say they weigh 120 pounds, we don't want them drinking just 60 ounces of water. That's not enough. If we're even saying 64 ounces isn't enough, so I always say that 80 is the minimum. That's where I want people to start. Regardless of how much they weigh, I want them to shoot for 80 ounces of water every single day, and then work up from there if they need to, or if that's what their body's telling them to do. So products every day, water every day, and trying to add in one extra detox measure every day. And it doesn't have to be the same detox measure every day. Just encourage your person to do what makes the most sense to them. Okay, so maybe they've had a long day at work and an Epsom salt bath sounds really great. Okay, another day they might be really active and they might go and do hot yoga. Or maybe they're not feeling well, so they want to do some hydrotherapy and really get their lymphatic system moving. So again, it doesn't need to be the same thing every day, but we do want them to add something in just as an overall wellness measure and to help flush those toxins out of their body. So I'm going through my quick list here and make sure that I didn't forget anything that I really wanted to make sure that I said. And I think that's about it. So I hope that you all got some great information with this video, and good luck to everyone. This is an amazing, amazing products and business that we get to help people and really change their lives. And I'm excited to have you all doing this with me. So thank you for listening in, and have a great day.